Leading off our discussion tonight is Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Also with us is Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania. He's the ranking Democratic member on the Budget Committee. Congressman Doggett, you've seen the debt ceiling raised many times over your career. It feels like this is the debt ceiling crisis that is the real one to fear.
Indeed, Lawrence, and of course you've explained it so well. We know that when Republicans played games with this back in 2011, it affected the credit rating of our debt. We know that raising the debt ceiling doesn't cost taxpayers anything. It doesn't add to new spending. It simply says we will honor the full faith and credit of the United States as we're bound to do by the Constitution. And now this reckless threat to jeopardize the economy and hurt so many families. And it also, I think, Lawrence, it really shows a new height in Republican hypocrisy. After all, these are Republicans who worship at the feet of a self-described king of debt, Donald Trump. They didn't hesitate to raise the debt ceiling 3 times under Donald Trump. But now that we have a Democratic president, they've embarked on this very dangerous endeavor, and we need to ensure that before there's any further discussion or any question about negotiation, I think they have to do 2 things. One is require them to specify specifically what they want to cut, not some phony ceiling, but to specify it, and there's no account for waste, fraud, and abuse, which is their usual language. And the second thing is that they agree to not make things worse by rejecting pay-go and having more unpaid huge tax cuts for the wealthy and the multinational corporations, which played a big role in getting us into the mess we have today.
Congressman Boyle, the Republican threats on the debt ceiling have actually increased the cost of government just as a result of those threats. This year, they have a very strong chance of increasing the cost of the government debt, of borrowing the debt. The interest on the debt is now 7% of total government expenditures. That could increase because of this. And you see it, my sense of it is that the hardcore Republicans talking about this don't even understand what the debt ceiling actually is.
You know, that's right. On your first point in terms of their antics actually increasing our debt, GAO did a whole report about this. Going back to 2011, which was the last time that Republicans really played fire with this issue and came within days of not raising the debt ceiling, that was when we suffered our first ever downgrade in American history. GAO found, sure enough, that increased our borrowing costs and increased our debt by billions of dollars. To your second point, and just in terms of the Republican confusion on this matter, they tend to get their talking points from not MSNBC, but maybe a competitor network. And on Sean Hannity, when he was interviewing Kevin McCarthy, he raised the debt ceiling, and then he went on to talk about the ramifications of a government shutdown. The two are entirely separate, as you know. A number of my Republican colleagues have also made that same confusion. They think we can weather hitting the debt ceiling because we've gone through government shutdowns before. They are entirely different. So the combination of ignorance and hyper-partisanship on the other side is a toxic brew.
Well, today's the day the Treasury Secretary announced that she has to start employing what they now call extraordinary measures to keep the debt solvent, and expects us to hit the real crisis point in June. Those extraordinary measures don't seem so extraordinary anymore. They seem to come up almost every time we get to this point. We're going to need you back many times between now and June on this subject. Congressman Lloyd Doggett and Congressman Brendan Boyle, thank you both very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.